So very good morning to all of you. Right, so all of you there, right? Are you thinking nowadays after the class gets over about guilty and not guilty of professional misconduct? Are you thinking about practicing chartered accountants, remembering some examples of what you've seen and so? Right, so we started our discussion on the two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act, the first schedule and the second schedule, right? And under the first schedule, we have the four parts, part 1, part 2, part 3 and the part 4, right? Part 1 is the professional misconduct for CA in practice, right? So we say a chartered accountant in practice is deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he. And then we started with 111 and we came up to 611, all done. And then 711, we just started our discussion regarding that. Okay, right. So what does 111 say? Allows any person to practice in his name unless, right? So every clause of ethics, we see that there is a misconduct and then there is some exception. Okay, this is allowed. Unless such person is also a CA in practice and is in partnership or employed by him, right? So that is clause 111, right? Then we came to clause 211, right? Clause 2, part 1, first schedule. What does it say? Pays or allows, or agrees to pay or allow, directly or indirectly, any share, commission or brokerage in the fees or profits of his professional business to any person. Right? So if I share the fees of my professional business with any person, then I will be guilty. But other than, right, 6 people with whom I can share my fees with, right? ICAI member, correct. Next one, partner, okay. Then retired partner, amazing. Next one, yes, legal representative of deceased partner, okay. Then member of any other professional bodies, okay. And then last one, specified qualified persons, okay. Right, here we also discussed regarding, that legal representative of deceased partner, can they get a share in the profits of the firm? Yes, if it is mentioned in the partnership agreement and if the period is specified, then yes, otherwise no. Can you pay some part of your audit fee of audit of cooperative society to the state government, which is required by law? Yes, it can be paid. What if the sole proprietor dies? His business can be sold. It's nothing but sale of goodwill. Even the right to use the firm name can be sold, and it has to be completed within 1 year from the date of death of the proprietor, right? And then we saw the member of any other professional bodies, right? The 5 professional bodies over there, right? Under regulation 53A, and then the specified qualified persons, wherein we saw the 8 specified qualified persons, okay. Right? 211 says not to share, 311 says not to accept, right? So accepts or agrees to accept any part of the profits of from a person who is not a member of the institute. So from a member of the institute, yes. From a member of any other professional body, yes. From specified qualified persons, yes, you can accept. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exceptions to 211 with whom I can share. But out of that 156, I can also accept a share, right? Like another member of the institute or member of any other professional body or the specified qualified persons. Okay, right. Then we come to 411, right? Enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than, right? Again, ICAI member of any other professional body, specified qualified persons, and then those which have been recognized by the central government or the council, right? So enters into partnership, right? So that, what does it say over there? Enters into partnership in or outside India with any person other than. 156, what is 1? ICAI member. What is 5? Member of any other professional body. And 6 is the specified qualified persons, and in addition to that, any other which have been recognized by the central government or the council, right? So here we have the regulation 53B, which talks about the other professional bodies and the members, right? So we have 6 over there. Okay, right? So that was clause 4, not to enter into the partnership, otherwise you will be guilty. So I told you my brother is having jewelry business and I am a practicing CA. Can I enter into partnership with my brother? No. Right? If I am a practicing CA, no. Okay. Right? Can we take permission under clause 11, specific permission? Yeah, we'll see that. Okay. Right. Then after that, clause 5. What is clause 5? No Amul butter. Right? No musta polish, no reference, no jack of any political person or any influential person in order to secure the professional work. Right? So secures professional business, right? Through a person who is not his employee, or through a person who is not his partner, or through means which are not open to a CA. He is trying to secure any professional business. Provided that you can secure professional business with whom it is permitted to share, accept and partnership under 2, 3, 4. Right? So obviously with whom I share my fee, from whom I accept a share, from whom I enter into partnership, through them can I secure professional business also? Yes. And what does it say? A man must stand erect and should not be kept erect by others. Right? What is the best advertisement for a chartered accountant? The good quality of services. Right? The good quality of the services provided would be the best advertisement for the chartered accountant. Okay. Right? So that was clause 5. Then we came to clause 6, part 1, first schedule. Do you remember where did our CA go? Did he go anywhere? Yeah. How many days did he go for? Right? Where was he from? Right? Our CA was practicing in Bangalore. Okay. And then he went to where? Where he went? Yes, Pulgaon. No, he went to, yes, Panji. No, he went to Punjab. No, he went to Paris. Right. And then he returned after 6 months. No, he returned after, right, 10 to 11 days. Okay. Right. So we said CA practicing in Bangalore, CAPIB, right? Paris, P and then Aris and then RTE, right? Returned after 10 to 11 days. Okay. Right. So clause 6, part 1, first schedule. We saw like 27 questions over there, right? 7 were regarding the website guidelines, right? So solicits, right? Guilty of professional misconduct if he solicits. Yes, solicit means he asks. What does he ask for? Client or professional work. How does he ask for it? Directly or indirectly? How? By CAPIB, circular, advertisement, personal communication, interview, or by any other means. Okay. Then exception, provided that nothing contained herein shall be construed as preventing or prohibiting. That's why the P, right? Prohibiting, preventing or prohibiting any CA from, yes, you remember Aris? Any CA from? Correct. Applying, requesting, inviting, securing professional work from another CA in practice. So within the CA fraternity, can one CA ask for work from another CA? Yes. And second exception over there, responding to tenders or inquiries issued by various users of professional services from time to time, and then securing the professional work as a consequence. Right? So tenders and inquiries. Right? We studied some guidelines regarding this tender inquiry. Right? First, we need to check whether the tender inquiry is it also open for the other professionals. If for other professionals, then CA you can respond to any tender inquiry. If it is exclusively for chartered accountants, then in that case you need to check whether the minimum fees have they been prescribed in the tender document. If they have been prescribed, then CA you respond no guilty. Minimum fees are not prescribed, then CA you should not respond. Still, if you respond, then you are guilty of professional misconduct. Okay. Right. So tender inquiry is nothing but where they are maintaining a panel of auditors. Right. So if CA is aware of existence of panel and then he applies, then is he guilty? He is aware of existence of panel. He knows that panel is being maintained. Then can he apply? Yes. Then no guilty. He makes inquiry regarding maintenance of panel. Are you maintaining a panel? Then it says out. An inquiry regarding maintenance of panel. He is doing roving inquiries. Again out. Out means what? Guilty. Guilty of the professional misconduct. Okay, right. So we saw question number 1 to 9 over there was regarding these two exceptions, and then we studied so many prohibited ways of solicitation, like advertisements and notes in the press, issue of greeting cards and invitation, then the golden, silver, diamond, platinum celebrations of the office, then the sponsoring activities, then the year of establishment of the firm that we studied in the website. It can be given. The date of establishment can cannot be given, right? Then we also studied when CA is called for any meetings or interviews, right? He can mention anything which is related to the subject matter, but he should not advertise his firm. Any books, articles, presentation, again, no professional attainments to be mentioned over there. He can only mention the fact that he is a CA, and the firm name can also be mentioned, right? And the firm name can also be mentioned, right? Then CA is being removed as the auditor of the company. So is the retiring auditor. He has a right to make representation, right? But this representation also should not amount to any canvassing or any solicitation for his continuance as an auditor. The letter should merely set out in a dignified manner how the CA has been acting independently and cautiously, and his willingness, if he so chooses, to continue as an auditor of the company. Right, so that is what is allowed over there. Then after the clause 6, the prohibited ways, we saw the High Court and Council decisions over there. Okay, opening ceremony of the office, and CA is saying I am a pioneer in liaising with the central government departments, and he is making an inquiry with the Registrar of Cooperative Society West Bengal. Right, so that is all the High Court Council decisions. Then we saw all the questions, and then is to the question, what is the second masala, the extra point which you need to write after you write down the clause and the relevant exception? Okay, why 611? Why soliciting work is not allowed? Why asking for work is not allowed? Okay, no going here and there asking for work. Yes, what did we say? Such a restraint. Okay, this restriction has been put on the members of the profession so that they maintain their independence of judgment, right, and may be able to command the respect from their prospective clients, right? So the sentence you need to learn over there. Okay, what is the clause, then the justification, then in the given case, and then you come to the conclusion. Okay, right. Then in clause 6, we also studied regarding the website guidelines. Any color, any format, website can be run on the push mode. Is it right? Right, passport style photograph to be given, the common CA logo prescribed by ICAI. You can give the details of number of articles, services rendered, nature of services, assignments handled, right, name of clients and fees charged. Can it be given? Yes. Yes. Can the website be run on the push mode? No, madam, what are you saying? Website can be run only on the pull mode and not on the push mode, right? What did we say? Pull mode and not on the push mode. Right? Information should not be circulated by email to all the persons regarding the website. Right? So website cannot be run on the push mode. It has to be run on the pull mode. Right? And name of clients and fees charged, by default it cannot be given. But when it can be given, if it is required by a regulator, whether in or outside India. Okay. Right? Then on the CA website, you can only give a link to the ICAI website, government, regulatory, and the other professional bodies. Okay. Right? And that's all what we studied regarding the clause 6. Right? So I request all of you, I apply, request, invite, secure, right? I request all of you to write down 1 or 2 answers regarding the clause 6, right? Write down entirely as per clause 6. You know, reading is one thing. What you will not learn by reading like 100 answers, that you will have a different type of learning by writing one answer. You understand? No. By riding a bike, you cannot learn how to drive a car. You understand? No. Right? So you say, no, now I have learned how to ride a bike, so now I can drive a car, or I know how to drive a car, so now I can ride a bike. No, both of it is different skill set. Right? If you know swimming, you say, now I can do boxing. No. You understand that? No. So it is 2 separate things. One is reading, understanding, memorizing, and all of that. Second part is able to write, having good presentation. This both have to be culminated together for success in the audit paper. What people do, no, they do off-sided. They do too much of understanding, too much of parroting, parrot. They learn like parrots, memorize. Okay, too much of all of that. But writing, hopeless. No presentation, like that, lopsided. Some very good with presentation, whatever little they will write, very nice they will write, but they don't have content only. They don't know the ICI technical language. They write everything in their own word. Both of this would lead to failure. Any lopsided, okay, any imbalance in any of these, your understanding, reading, and your writing, right, it leads to an imbalance. It doesn't give you the required marks in the exam. Right? So put them hand in hand. Put it hand in hand. Okay, don't, because see, everything that you study, everything is not going to come in the exam. Out of that, like MCQs and theory all put together, some 40-50 concepts are going to come out of thousands of concepts which we study. So it's a theory of probability. Out of thousands of things which I study, what 30, 40, 50 things come in the exam. But whatever comes, I should be able to write. Right, so I am requesting all of you that please write down. Is that, ma'am, no, I cannot write on my own. I don't have the confidence. I have not written any answer before this. No problem, copyright. Keep the encrypted book in front of you in case if you've not yet received the copy, and then you just copyright. That you can do. I think nothing on earth stops you from that. Right, so let the entire answer go under your hand. Let a few pages in your notebook be filled. Okay. Right, so that was regarding the clause 6 part 1 of the first schedule. Okay. Then we started with clause 7 part 1 first schedule. And there, what did we say? There are 2 misconduct and there are 2 exceptions. What are the 2 misconduct? Guilty of professional misconduct if he advertises his professional attainments or services. Right? So he is advertising, I'm the best CA in the country. Advertising, we do fastest audit, or we have done 500 audits. Right? Advertises his professional attainments or services, or uses designation or expression other than that of CA on a professional document such as letterhead, signboard, visiting card, unless it be. Unless means exception. What is allowed? Degree of university established by law in India. Okay, amazing. Next one. Recognized by central government. Very good. Third one. Title indicating membership of ICAI. Okay. And fourth one. Right, membership of any institution which has been recognized by the central government or the council. And then we have the second exception to 711. What does it say? Provided that a member in practice may advertise through a what? May advertise through a write-up subject to the guidelines issued by the council. Okay, right, so that was 711. So that's what I told you. Okay, can a CA write on his professional documents that he is a cyber security expert? We said no. Why you cannot write that you are a cyber security expert? Because neither is it a degree of university established by law in India, nor is it recognized by central government, nor title indicating membership of ICAI, nor recognized by the central government or the council. Right, that is why you cannot write tax consultant, legal advisor, cyber security expert, management expert, and all of that on your professional documents. Right? Can you write that you are a corporate lawyer? No. Right? Can you mention that you are a member of parliament on your professional documents? No. Can you become a member of parliament? Yes. But can you write it on your professional document that you are a member of parliament? No. And writing it is not allowed that you are a member of parliament. Right? Can CA be AC? Advisor, consultant to an issue? Yes. Would client write it in their offer document that this CA is our advisor, consultant to the issue? Yes. Client will write it in the offer document. But should CA write it on his stationery, on his letterhead of his CA firm that he is the merchant banker, he is the advisor, consultant to issue? No. CA cannot write it on his professional documents. Can a CA in practice also practice as an advocate? Yes. Subject to the permission of the BCI, the Bar Council of India. But can he use the designation CA and advocate simultaneously? No, he cannot use the designation simultaneously. Okay. Right. So are we good? Yes, all of you, are we good? Your memory comes back? Haunting back, you know, oh yeah, this is all what we had heard yesterday. Right. Does it come back? Okay.